Hey there everyone, I am Dresden, and welcome back to another episode of Downhill Madness. We have 3 vehicles lined up today that should, if I can drive them right, should make it down on the first try. We're starting off with this, the Gavril Romer Fire Chief. Hopefully in the leaderboard I spelled Chief right, because I didn't when I wrote it down on my paper that I keep track of all the vehicles on. But that's okay. So we have our Romer here. And for some reason the game's really laggy. I couldn't tell you why. Hopefully it gets a little steady. We're running about 48 frames, 50 frames. So it's not awful, but something is acting up on my computer, probably, that's causing the low frames. I can go ahead and investigate after this run. So we got ourselves a Gavril Romer. They tend to do pretty well. This is not one of the big off-road ones. It's kind of mid-tier when it comes to off-road, which is good because the trend seems to be that the ones with the big... Oh, we're hitting 40 frames a second. That's... Yeah, I need to check on what's happening. Anyway, yeah, the ones with the big off-road tires, really all the vehicles with the big off-road tires, barring like the trophy trucks and stuff, tend to not do very well, which is a shame because you would really think they would, especially on this Baja course, but they just, with all the turns and bumps and jumps and everything, their wheels get caught under them when they land and then they just snap off because they're all top heavy. And this one doesn't really have that problem. The wheels are not, they're not the biggest, you know, they're not huge, and it's not super high off the ground, so that overall kind of, you know, improves its chances of getting a decent time and improves the performance of it on this course. But it still does have good suspension for this, and it has good ground clearance, which is overall what we want, because the ground clearance makes a big difference as long as it's not too top heavy, and thankfully this has good ground clearance, but it's not too top heavy. So this is probably the ideal vehicle. Ideally, it would have a little more power, but for this course, this is probably one of the most ideal vehicles we could run down it. Romer, the D series, if it has a vehicle kind of like this, you know, all those sorts of things tend to do pretty well. So we're coming up, not the last turn, we got 2 more after this one, but it is feeling pretty good. Knock on wood. You know, we haven't had any big accidents at all. None even like minor accidents. I think we're still steering like perfectly straight. Or we're steering perfectly. I don't even know if we have any undercarriage damage or bumper damage or anything. Our radiator's fine, which is quite good for this course. A lot of most vehicles actually finish without a radiator that's in one piece, and this one looks quite promising. Here we are at the end. Let's go ahead and floor it for the last straightaway, and we made it. So damage wise, we did collapse the front left suspension a little, the front driver's side. Not a lot, but it is noticeable. Bumper, we got some panel gap going on with the bumper. I don't even think our window's cracked. I mean, nothing really detrimental at all. Nothing even remotely detrimental. Can we drive in a straight line? Okay. It's limping. As you can see, that right side was dipping down a bit, and it is pulling to the left. Not a lot, but it's very rare that we see a vehicle not pull to either side after this course, but as you can see, it's not driving perfectly straight. Let's go ahead and get it into this wall. We're going about 73 miles an hour. Ooh, frames really just died there. Okay, we don't drive anymore, but the engine still works, which is pretty good, all things considered. A little bit of artifacting in the back. It's kind of got horns going on. It's a little strange. Alright, on to the next vehicle for this episode. Hopefully it makes it the first try, and hopefully it does as well as this one. We will find out. Next up, we have this. This is the 2009 Range Rover V8 Supercharged. So it'll be a quick little guy. Actually, quick big guy. I went ahead and turned off the stability control and traction control for consistency's sake. We never tend to run the vehicles down with it on, so I will not. Whew. Listen to that baby purr. Holy smokes. So this is, of course, a modded vehicle, one of the two modded vehicles we will be running today. However, they will not both be of the same vehicle like we have been doing. We have been running two different variants of the same vehicle. Not today, partner. Not today. So, right off the bat, can't tell if I've already collapsed the front suspension or if it's just super soft compared to the back suspension. Just possible, because I mean an engine is heavy, but you would think it would be a little more stiff in that case. But it is, well, it feels like it's having a hard time. Also, went through my task manager to try and end some tasks to save some CPU. I don't know what's taking up so much, because Beam is taking up about 50%, 50 to 60%. So don't know what it is that's taking up so much, but something definitely is, and it's making my computer perform real bad. We just lost our front bumper. All four of our suspensions, I'm pretty sure, are collapsed or in the process of being collapsed. The front absolutely is collapsed, though. The back is a lot softer than it was. I think it's about to go. Now, there's not a huge issue with that. Well, okay, there is. The engine's in the front. And it's, all things considered, close to the ground. And when that... Uh-oh, I forgot about that turn there. Okay, we're fine. When that front suspension is collapsed, the engine conks into the ground on every bump. We lose oil, we lose coolant, we lose everything, really. We lose engine, which can be a problem when you want the vehicle to drive. If you don't have an engine, it can't exactly do that, which is, you know, not ideal. We would like it to drive. That's all I can say. Okay, well, rear-wheel drive Range Rover now. We just lost our front drive shaft. I forgot that that was also up there. Especially on all-wheel drive vehicles, it tends to be in the front, the front drive shaft. And front-wheel drive vehicles, but this is all-wheel drive. It's not as detrimental. Now it's just a drift machine. It's even got the camber going for it because of the, you know, no suspension shindig that we're pulling here. So, that's less than ideal. Okay, well, yes, nothing happened. Ignore the tweaked back left wheel. So, I don't know if there's new people watching this series or if everyone who's watching it is just, you know, joining again. This is a test of me driving the vehicle. Each vehicle gets 3 attempts, and the first attempt that it makes it down is the attempt that it counts. So if I completely screw up but it still makes it and you know it could have a better time, too bad, because it's me driving the vehicle and it's my first time driving the vehicles. That's what it is a test of. We made it to the bottom, by the way. So, damage report. Let's go ahead and pull her back to the not glitched pavement. And this series will continue to go on until this map no longer works, most likely. Or until I move out for college in a year. Who knows? So, front suspension, gone. Completely. Nothing there. Absolutely nothing. Back suspension, leaving but not gone. It's, the whole body's kind of leaning to the left. That's fine, though. Panel gaps, all of them. We have all of the panel gaps. Sputtering engine, got that too. Rear wheel drive, you bet your buns we got that in an all-wheel drive vehicle. Pulling to the right very violently. I've attended to it a lot. Of course we have that. You know, it's from 2009. Not all things from 2009 are pristine. And this just proves that. After I got my hands on it, of course. Let's go ahead and run it into the wall. We're going to hit that wall at a blistering 80 miles an hour. Oh! So, that's a lot that happened. Dashboard is through the seats, through the front seats. I don't think you would be alive anymore, even with your seatbelt on. That's good. That's what you want in a vehicle. Steering's completely gone. Engine's gone. Drive shaft's gone. We're leaking gasoline. Our gasoline's going down. But hey, we're not overheating anymore. Brakes are at 650 degrees at the most. Front left is that one. That's a lot. Yeah. Alright, on to the third and final vehicle for this episode. Hopefully we can keep the streak running of making it down on the first try. I think we'll be able to. I think so. And finally, we have this. This is the Land Rover Defender D250 Explorer Pack. There are, I think I counted 37 different variants of this vehicle, so expect one of them in the next episode as well. One that's a little more off-road suited than even this. But this one is packing a 3-liter i6. I do believe is what it said. Don't remember if it's turbocharged or not. We'll be able to hear it if it is. We went ahead and turned off the stability control and traction control just to keep it fair. Let's go ahead and do this. So this one, we're running down another Land Rover model. It should do pretty well. It's made for this, you know? Not really. It is made for the sort of off-road-esque terrain. I wouldn't call this what it's made for. There are like Baja versions of this vehicle, but this one is not one of them, and so most likely not made for it. It does have an automatic transmission. Looks like it's not the best automatic transmission. We were just at a risk for an over rev. And we have broken our induction system, so our engine's gonna start getting hot. But we're flying. We're going so fast that the engine will cool off with the sheer amount of air that we are ramming into the vehicle. That's what they call a ram air intake. Don't look at the old Firebirds and stuff. That's not a ram air intake. It's actually on this Defender that we're flying 60 whole miles an hour sometimes. Yeah. So, this one is tuned for off-road. Not quite this sort of off-road, but it did have like a sand and snow kind of preset on stability control. It had a mud and ruts. It had a just like dirt and stuff. Dirt and riverbed and Mount Fuji mode. I don't know. Yeah, though. It feels pretty good. Feels quick. I don't know what it is about modded vehicles. They always feel faster than the stock game vehicles, and they also tend to be, depending on the vehicle. This one I can tell you right now is most likely faster than any Burnside custom we would run. Tell you that much. Okay. We got a mild over rev and our engine torque is reduced. That's good. We've also collapsed that front left suspension, I'm pretty sure, at least a bit. Over revved again. Y'all gotta put better automatic transmissions in your Range Rovers, because this one just ain't cutting it, folks. I know it's not what it's made for, but you know, it shouldn't be over revving like it over revved again. 4 times now, I think. But you know, who's counting? We lost our front bumper, but you know, who's counting? I'm not. Someone in the comments might, if this video gets more than 6 views. And someone actually wants to interact with the community, which y'all should, you know? leave a comment, leave a like, share the video, do all that jazz. Trying to hopefully build my channel. I've had my channel for, as of next year, I will have had it for 10 years. It'll be my 10-year anniversary next year. And what are we at? Almost 200 subscribers. Yeah. Things aren't looking super hot. Alright, but we did make it to the bottom. So yeah, front suspension is gone. I feel like this is supercharged. I don't think it's turbocharged. I think it has a supercharger in it. Can I open the hood? Gently? Yeah. Oh, hey. Okay. This is how I open the hood of my truck in real life as well. No, that's a turbocharger, I think. I can't tell. Let's go ahead. I can't even tell if there's anything, honestly. Does it say here on the back? I can't read that, so I don't know. Yeah, I think we only have one suspension that's good, and I think that's the rear left. I think the rest of them are kind of broken a little bit. Pulling to the right, that's to be expected. But I think we did get a decent time. I hope we got a decent time. 74 miles an hour. See? That is safety. See how that old one crumbled? Granted, we were going, what, 5 miles an hour faster? But it just absolutely crumbled up. This, you would be fine. Passenger seat, actually. I don't know. You may have been flung into the steering wheel. Passenger's gone. Passenger's screwed. You know what? That's okay. That's alright. Doesn't need to be safe. Alright, on to the leaderboard for this episode. Let's see how our vehicles did. Alright, and now on to the leaderboard for this episode of Downhill Madness. So in 22nd place, we have the Land Rover Defender D250 Explorer Pack with a time of 3 minutes and 12.5 seconds, which is not that bad. Top 25, at least. Not awful at all. Coming up next in 40th place is the Gaffrel Roamer Fire Chief with a time of 3 minutes and 20.2 seconds. Not awful, but could have been a little faster. It's crazy that almost 20 places is displaced by about 5 or 6 seconds in the leaderboard now. It's getting vast. We have 116 cars on the leaderboard now, which is quite a lot. And finally, in 68th place, about dead center at this point, is the 2009 Range Rover V8 Supercharged with a time of 3 minutes and 31.7 seconds. Not awful driving today. Not awful placement or anything. Just with the vast amount of cars that we have that go down this course that are kind of fast, it's really knocking out some of the competition when it comes to quick times. But that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it gets a lot tighter at the top. So yeah, not too bad of a performance today. About mid performance, I would say. And just like that, you guys have made it to the end of the episode. Congratulations. You're going to watch a Range Rover Defender fall off a cliff. Huzzah! This is not something you see every day unless you watch YouTube a lot. Then it's possible, because people do this in real life. Give Whistling Diesel one of these. He'll probably do this to his little hill that he's got going on. He can meet up with his whatever Ford Model T. It wasn't a Model T. I don't remember the model. And his Ferraris and stuff. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, hit the red subscribe button, and the bell icon down below to get notified of when I upload. Check out the merch, link in the description. And until next time, this has been Dresden on BeamNG.drive with the 41st, I think, episode of Downhill Madness. It's almost been a year, folks. It's crazy. And goodbye.